The Arizona Cardinals were 4-0. Now they're 4-4, and they get to go to Green Bay to try to do something about it. Welcome into Hot Reads, your weekly look at the National Football League with Hall of Fame quarterback Troy Aikman. My name is Tom Vandervoort, and Troy, I know you're going to Green Bay this week to watch the Cardinals play the Packers. And first of all, from the Arizona point of view, basically, what happened and what should they do about it now that they're kind of reeling?
Well, they're obviously struggling. I mean, they came out of the gates playing pretty good ball and haven't gotten a lot going. I think their defense is pretty good. Offensively, they've just really struggled. I mean, they've had quarterbacks playing, from one week to the next. They've had turnover certainly at that position. The offensive line, they've had some injuries. The tackles have struggled in pass protection. They've not run the ball particularly well. It's hard to win in this league, as the Cardinals have shown, with not more production than they've had up to this point. Is
there an approach they should take? Should they be more conservative, more aggressive, or is it really just kind of a get back to basics thing?
Well, I think what they have is what they have, and that's what they've got to go with, and they've got to play very efficiently. They don't have a lot of big play ability. Larry Fitzgerald obviously is a great player, but they're not able to protect long enough to get the ball down the field the way that they would probably like. So when you have an offensive line that is struggling, you've got to leave more guys in and try to help them out. Got to get the ball out of your hands quickly. But the defenses that you face in this league, they recognize that. So they began the year so well, and then to be where they're at now and a tough road game against the Green Bay Packers, I mean, this is going to be a challenge. They're certainly not out of it, but morale there in Phoenix, Arizona isn't real good right now.
Yeah, absolutely. And then I believe they go to Atlanta after that. Now, as far as Green Bay goes, they did start off the year a little slowly. Big win over the Texans now seems to have them rolling. What's their best approach to this game? Because it feels like one of those games that we sometimes call a trap game. And I wonder, is there really such a thing? And what would it be if there is?
Well, I think that, it's hard to get up to the same emotional level for 16 games during the season. As tough as that is maybe for the fans to really understand, considering you go out and play once a week and you only have to do it 16 times prior to the playoffs. But it's one thing when you're playing a division rival, knowing that it's going to be a big game. It's a different thing when you're playing a team that you expect to beat. But I don't think this is necessarily a trap game for Green Bay. I mean, they had played very well. They played well, as you said, against the Houston Texans. They got the offense going a little bit. They came back last week against Jacksonville and did not play particularly well on offense. Now, they're without Greg Jennings, and then they were also without Jordy Nelson. They've had a number of injuries, as some other teams have as well. But I think because of what happened last week, not an outstanding performance, yet they were able to win. I think that will get their attention. They'll be focused this week, and it's really a matter of how healthy they can get. But I think they'll come out regardless of who's on the field. I believe that the Packers will come out and play better this week.
Gotcha. Now, there's an interesting rumor this week about Steven Jackson and his situation with the Rams and the Packers maybe going out to get him. We've talked so much about how this is a quarterback-driven league now. We certainly see that in Green Bay with Aaron Rodgers. How big a move do you think they should make to try to pick up a back like Steven Jackson, especially with Cedric Benson, having some injury troubles? Is that something they should really reach to try to do, or is it not as important for them?
Well, I think that you've kind of got to stick to what you are, I think, as an organization. What the Packers have shown under Ted Thompson is that they're going to essentially develop their own players. I mean, it's rare when they go out and make a big splash in free agency, go out and make a big trade, and this would be regarded as a pretty big trade if they were able to pull something off like that. I think the health of Cedric Benson, as you said, factors into this. There's discussion that he may come back this year. He's on injured reserve, but because of the new rule, he's been designated as the guy who can come back and play again this season. If they anticipate that he'll be back, then they don't make that move. And they may not make that move anyway. They may go ahead and stick with what they have. We clearly know that they haven't run the ball particularly well. They haven't run the ball really all that well in a number of years. But even though they haven't gotten a lot of production, give Mike McCarthy some credit, because he continues to still run the football to at least maintain some type of balance so that it's not all on Aaron Rodgers. But even Mike McCarthy admitted this week they've got to get more production out of that running game.